bringing news from a different page. Truth served hot and bold and strong. Every week we sing along. Red, white, and true will stand tall. Echo the call loudest of all. With hearts of faith and liberty, together we find unity. Stories that make you think and pray. A light awaits at the end of day. Guided by the stars and stripes, through the stormiest of nights. Red, white, and true will stand tall. Echo the call loudest of all. With hearts of faith and liberty, together we find unity. When the world feels like a fight, hold your ground, stand for what's right. In the truth we'll find our way. Ed and Ronnie light the way. Red, white, and true will stand tall. Echo the call loudest of all. With hearts of faith and liberty, together we find unity. Red, white, and true will stand tall. Echo the call loudest of all. With hearts of faith and liberty, together we find unity. Together we find unity.
All right, everyone. It is Friday night. Friday night?
Friday night.
We're here on a Friday night. It's a special edition of
Absolutely.
Red, White, and True. You know, some people say I am special ed.
I like
I'm
it.
not sure.
I like it.
I'm not sure if that was a compliment or not, but yeah, we are
We'll take it
here
as one.
there you go. It's Friday night, the 24th of October, and let's see. Well, we were talking last night, me, you, and your mom, and about the shutdown, and you said maybe we should go live about that, and your mom said, I think you ought to go live about that.
Yes, and then
Because-
she's brought it up multiple times a day too. So I think she likes hearing her voice.
Well, like she don't get enough of us here.
Right.
And speaking of her, man, the whole house smells good right now.
It's killing me. Even up here, I can smell it.
Well, Alice was down here just a second ago, and she was standing over top of him, looking at him, and said, I want one of these so bad. I said, well, Grandma's got to ice them with peanut butter icing. And she went, peanut butter icing?
I wonder why she came up here mopping drool off her face.
Yeah, so welcome, everybody. We are glad you're here. For those that, earlier in the week was concerned about Amy, good news is she is home, obviously. If she's making peanut butter rolls, she's feeling good enough that she's been experimenting in the kitchen, and the Lord brought her through that bad episode last weekend and the first part of the week, and we thank you all for the prayers that you put out for her. Well, Ronnie, before we get started, let's roll through a couple things like, the approval that we got from Caroline Leavitt.
And we urge Democrat senators to vote to reopen the government and to do the right thing.
That's right. We've urged them and they've urged them, and they're still not doing the right thing.
And in the media,
if people really want to know what's going on, listen to Ed and Ronnie Tuesdays on Red, White, and True, streaming on Facebook.
There you go. There's that one. And oh, well, your mom's standing right here. I won't play that when she hates the
I don't
troll.
like that one for some reason.
Probably because you don't like troll. Let's see. Well, we're going to talk about two specific topics, but this topic is always good for us.
Donald Trump is a criminal who was found guilty of 34 felony counts of fraud.
Man, that's better every time.
There's a dog at the Humane Society that is identical to that dog, and I can't walk by that dog without thinking about that clip.
Did you nickname it AOC?
I nicknamed it AOC. I actually gave AOC a treat because she was sleeping and not trying to bite me like usual. So,
well, and it's been a week for you. You've been attacked multiple times.
Yes. Today alone.
When you have to deal with cats, it just reminds me how much I dislike cats.
I don't know if you can see it, but I got shredded pretty good there earlier. I had 8 cats in my van at one time today, and that was a loud, noisy, stinky trip to the Humane Society.
Well, let's go ahead and jump into topic number 1. We decided yesterday we were talking about the shutdown, and I've got a couple things I didn't share with you, but I've got a couple things when your portion is done about the shutdown to share as well. And after that, I've been promising that I would take some time and look at Candace Owens.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to fulfill that promise tonight, and we're going to go there. But first, let's let Ronnie have the floor.
All right. Well, we can jump straight into this courtesy of a friend of ours. This is the current shutdown duration, 23 days, 19 hours, 8 minutes, and 29 seconds. And as you can see, courtesy of the Democrat Party. Of course, everybody's saying that's not true, but it's absolutely true. Let's listen to Miss Caroline Leavitt.
Senate Democrats have voted 12 separate times now to keep the government closed. Innocent Americans are suffering every day as a result. More than 500,000 civilian federal employees will miss a full paycheck tomorrow.
So we're well into this. They received their first paycheck in the beginning of October, and now they're missing their paycheck today. It is payday for a lot of federal government employees, and because of this, frankly, asinine shutdown, they're missing their paycheck next month. People are going to start losing SNAP and TANF. We've covered this the other day. There seems to be no progression whatsoever. There is, however, the number 2 Democrat, and I'll just let her words speak for herself here. This is how she feels about this situation right now.
I mean, shutdowns are terrible, and of course there will be, families that are going to suffer. We take that responsibility very seriously, but it is one of the few leveraged times we have.
I'm going to play that one more time since it is brief. And for the people in the back that didn't hear, this is what this woman actually said.
I mean, shutdowns are terrible. And of course, there will be, families that are going to suffer. We take that responsibility very seriously. But it is one of the few leveraged times we have.
One of the few leverage times we have. She doesn't care about you or your family or the fact that you are not eating dinner tonight or breakfast tomorrow or your kids are going hungry. All she cares about is leverage.
Fellow top House Democrat Congresswoman Catherine Clark. Listen and watch this. This is what she said.
I mean, shutdowns are terrible. And of course, there will be, families that are going to suffer. We take that responsibility very seriously. But it is one of the few leveraged times we have.
Republicans say this is an admission that Democrats are using the American people as political leverage during this shutdown. You want to respond?
Donald Trump is the president. Republicans control the House and the Senate. They've made the decision to shut down.
They've made the decision to shut down, he says. Does people understand that in the Senate, it has to be a 65% majority? Now, you would think Hakeem Jeffries, with all his wisdom, and all of that, would understand that simple little thing. So since we listened to Hakeem Jeffries and Ms. Clark, let's listen to Mike Johnson.
Take heart, because all your suffering is for a good cause. It's for the Democrats' political leverage. That's what the number 2 Democrat said here yesterday. It is utterly shameful. The obvious truth is that only a Democrat could get away with saying such abhorrent things without the media batting its eye. I guarantee you, if the tables were turned, if the Republicans were the ones holding the country hostage and openly admitting to it, it would be absolutely explosive. It would be wall-to-wall coverage, and everybody in this room knows that.
That's right. It would be wall-to-wall coverage, and whatever senator or whatever individual said that, that was their only bargaining chip and leverage that they had. They would absolutely crucify that individual. But fear not, there's been some progression. We've got a couple things here.
Fox News alert right now, the Senate voting on a test bill to pay essential workers and also our military. Now, the key to watch here is how many Democrats break and vote alongside Republicans. We know all Republicans will vote for this. We're not anticipating a departure from that. But will other Democrats, other than John Fetterman, Catherine Masto, and Angus King, join Republicans? We'll see.
And no, they did follow suit, those Democrats, but nothing happened. That bill got shot down. Let's go back to Ms. Caroline Leavitt.
Let us be very clear from the White House today. If the Democrats continue to keep the government closed, we fear there will be significant flight delays, disruptions, and cancellations in major airports across the country this holiday season. If Democrats continue to shut down the government, they will also be shutting down American air travel. The White House is in constant communication with the air traffic controllers, with the airline associations, and with them, we urge Democrats to please pass the continuing resolution so we can just end this madness and this chaos and reopen the government.
But right here, it's all the Republicans' fault. Yep, you're exactly right. It's every bit of the Republicans' fault. I mean,
I wanted to jump in here real quick on that last vote.
Yes, the test bill.
Yes. Now, strangely enough, there were 3 Democrats in the Senate that voted for that, but it was not the same 3 that have been voting to reopen the government.
Oh, I must have missed that.
The 2 senators from Georgia, the ones that were in the special elections during, I think, 20 somewhere. You remember when all of the controversy in Georgia and
yes.
Those 2
I don't remember
are the ones. Warlock or not? It's not Warlock.
Warnock.
Warnock and the other senator that they both won special elections. But oh, look at this, Ronnie.
Oh, Alice, go get me some.
They voted for the test bill. The other two that have been voting with Fetterman did not. So all of that is obviously coordinated. And one of the things that Democrats do is they know how many votes that they can lose
Yes.
without losing the topic, without losing the vote. And so if there is a member of any member of Congress that is going to be in an election that is contested, it's going to be close, then they will let the right number for them vote with the conservatives so that they can act like they are, bipartisan, which is not true in the least. They've been given the okay by their puppet masters at the top. That vote was for essential government workers,
yes,
and the military. And they said that I believe the Secretary of Labor would have been able to choose how that was done, and they didn't want him to have that kind of control. Now, I don't know how accurate that is about the Secretary of Labor. I mean, you would think if you pass a bill to pay essential workers in the military, that you would pay essential workers in the military. They had, first of all, I'll talk about this at the very end, but they've had the opportunity to shut or reopen the government 12 times now, 12 times. And this one was even not reopening the whole government, but paying the people that are working. Non-essential people are furloughed right now.
Mm-hmm. Essential
Essential people are still working, and now they're working for free.
Absolutely. And
they had a chance to fix that portion of it. And instead, they wanted to use, what did that lady say? Oh, leverage.
Leverage.
Okay, I'm off my soapbox now.
All right, so I got this one's about the length of it. I just caught briefly, but I had some good information.
Shutdown's still going. It's the 12th time these votes have failed. And gang, there is not an end in sight. If you say when the shutdown's going to end, go buy a Powerball ticket, because honestly, this has been one of the things in Washington. This thing is stretching on. It's coming as California's governor now says he will deploy the National Guard to handle a shortage in food bank money. With the shutdown about to hit low-income families hard, not just in California, but across the country. That's because you've got a bunch of states warning that SNAP benefits, a.k.a. food stamp benefits, could run out just 10 days from now, starting then. And it's happening at what could be kind of the worst time for food banks. This is usually their busiest time of year. Think about it. It's October. You got Thanksgiving coming up. This is a time when you see a lot of need. You've got some furloughed federal workers who aren't getting paychecks right now, finding themselves turning to the food banks, too. Here in Washington, our D.C. station caught up with one federal employee who didn't want to be identified. She said she was in line at a food bank, right, despite more than 2 decades of serving in the military.
I have to admit, this is the first time I've ever taken advantage of something like this. I've not been in this predicament ever. I served 21 years in the military. I've been a federal government employee for the past 2 years.
Unfortunately, things are just going to continue getting worse. Food banks, like they said, are already stretched thin, and they're going to keep getting more. I work animal control, and this week alone, I have seen more abandoned animals and people trying to get rid of their animals than I have since I've hired in combined. It's getting worse, but hey, as long as the Democrats have their leverage, Now, my last and final clip is President Donald Trump. He's asked about the shutdown, and he was talking about paying the military and how they're actually going to accomplish it from a very generous patriot. And unfortunately, I'm pretty sure the Democrats are going to somehow fight this as well.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
In the next couple of days, a lot of Americans are going to go without their first full paychecks. Federal workers.
By the way, a friend of mine, talking about donors, a friend of mine, a man that's great. I'm not going to use his name unless he lets me do it. Susie can tell you about this, but he called us the other day and he said, I'd like to contribute any shortfall you have because of the Democrat shutdown. I'd like to personally contribute any shortfall you have with the military, because I love the military and I love the country, and any shortfall, if there's a shortfall, I'll contribute it. And today he sent us a check for $130 million. I would love to tell you he doesn't really want the recognition, if you want to know the truth, but he gave us a check for $130 million, and that's going to go to which was sort of a shortfall, yeah. And that's going to go to the military, yeah.
And what's your message?
Is that the correct number? $130 million. That's what I call a patriot. Okay. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. Thank you.
I thought that was pretty cool. Patriot is paying the military. That's just amazing. So, all right, here, Schumer and his cronies need to be dismissed. Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. I'm ready for them to drain that entire swamp.
Yes,
you know, and yet people still look at this and go, nope, Republicans, nope, it's Republicans, nope, it's the Republicans, just because Orange Man bad. That's the only reason. So,
well, where was the Democrat donor that donated $130 million?
Yeah.
Where was that person?
Yeah, I didn't see that person step up. You know.
How about this? How about all of those senators that are getting paid during the shutdown donate their pay to help pay the military? Oh, well, I believe it was Bernie Sanders that said earlier this week that some people have children to feed that are in the Senate.
Yes.
That are part of Congress. And the person whose video it was said, as if, and maybe it's in the video I'm going to play here in just a second, but maybe it's as if the military don't have food.
Yeah.
They don't have kids to pay for. And so to hit on something you made reference to, it is quite possible that $130 million will not be able to be appropriated to the military because appropriations take congressional approval.
Yes.
So it would have to be approved by Congress unless there is a loophole they can find. And you know that the administration is looking for every loophole possible to put that toward the military.
Absolutely.
But there, and you again made reference to this, I can't imagine the Democrats being on board with paying the military, even if it's not their money.
Yeah.
So
the only reason they're doing it is because it's going to make Donald Trump look good. That's why they're against it. I can't believe any individual would be against paying the military. Who in their right mind would be? It makes no sense to me. But,
well, what if the military just stayed home?
Yeah. What are we going to do then? And all this rising tensions with Venezuela right now. I mean, we have the USS Gerald Ford and its battle fleet group headed there now. So tensions are rising there. Now is not a time to not pay our military.
Well, I have played videos from this girl before. She's called That Opinionated Girl, I think is what she uses as her handle. And she actually released this later in the afternoon today about our exact topic that you covered. Let's listen to what I think her name is Maddie has to say.
Hey, so the Democrats just told on themselves big time, but will their voter base actually do anything about it? I'm extremely doubtful. As many of you will know, we are currently in the midst of a government shutdown because the left has decided to hold our government hostage until they're able to force through a bunch of absolutely ridiculous spending because it's not coming out of their wallets, it's coming out of yours. For example, they think that it's important for American taxpayers to fund things like healthcare for illegal immigrants. Many of them have since tried to walk back that statement, although they all openly said that they would do so in the first debate for the Democrat candidate for president. Why they're trying to lie straight to your faces right now, I just don't personally understand it. If you look up the entire list, you would see that this is nothing more than money laundering, in my own personal opinion. But one of the Democrats just got on TV and openly stated that they are using this as leverage. Not my words, their words. Please enjoy this video clip.
Shutdowns are terrible, and of course there will be, families that are going to suffer. We take that responsibility very seriously, but it is one of the few leveraged times we have.
Bernie Sanders, a few days ago, also took to national television in which he was asked why won't Congress forego their money if Americans are being forced to do so? People that are actually essential to the United States functioning, such as our military. And his response was, well, not all of us can afford to do that. Some of us have kids. Because, nobody in the military has kids. They're not kind of known for doing that. Obviously, they're the ones who are able to survive this long without receiving a paycheck. The people who are already severely underpaid, how many of them are currently living paycheck to paycheck and now there's no paycheck coming in? So what are they supposed to do? But of course, let's all worry about the members of Congress over in DC who are getting rich off of our taxpayer dollars because, why would they sacrifice for the American people? They don't care about you, and I don't know how much clearer I can make that. It's absolutely abhorrent, and it breaks my heart how many people have bought into this lie, hook, line, and sinker, that the Democrats are for the American working class. They are absolutely not. The Democrats are for nobody but themselves, and how many times do they have to blatantly tell you that for people to start waking up?
And drop the mic and walk off forever. Don't get it.
That killed it right there.
It doesn't get any more true than what she said. And I thought it was so ironic that I actually watched her today in a live that she did. And she was in that same outfit. So that she did it, later this afternoon, this evening. I'm actually going to try and see what I can do and invite her to a Red, White, and True episode.
That would be awesome.
I mean, when you use the word passionate, she is definitely passionate. So, yeah. Now, I posted on my Facebook earlier this week, and I'm convinced that the algorithms and so on and so forth, they block certain things from conservatives. And so I put up a meme that I got from someone else that say, Democrats just blocked reopening the government for the 11th time. They hate Americans. And my comment on it was, all they have to do is follow their own advice and vote for a clean CR, continuing resolution, to reopen the government on no one's agenda. As a matter of fact, it's more on the Democrat agenda because they're running on this year's budget, which was approved by a Democrat White House and a Democrat Senate, in addition to a Republican. It was a bipartisan with the Democrats in charge of the White House and Congress. So I said they preached that, meaning they're voting on a clean CR, over and over and over when Biden was president. Should they take their own advice, people would go back to work, paychecks would continue, babies wouldn't go without food. The Democrats own this situation and want to hold the country hostage.
Absolutely.
Now, I don't care what anybody says about, I care about the topic, but when it comes to this, I don't care what the topic is, whether it be Obamacare subsidies, SNAP benefits, all of those things. You can have your opinions on all of that. No one in America can dispute the fact that if they would vote on a clean CR, that means adding nothing to what's previously going on.
Just a
And I believe
continuance of what's already been happening.
And I believe it also means you can't take away.
Yes, you can't take away.
You can't add to, you can't take away, and it'll go till sometime in November. So it's not like it's forever. If they were to vote on a clean CR, they would reopen the government based on the things that Democrats voted for over and over and over and over. It's nothing new. It's just what, see, that lady, she just like handed our side a gift. It's all leverage. We have the leverage that at the ballot box, we won the presidency, we won the popular vote, we won 7 swing states, all 7 swing states, and that's how our leverage came about.
Absolutely.
Their leverage is holding the government hostage. Now, I want to read a couple.
Not holding the government, holding the American people hostage.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, this is my personal Facebook page. This isn't, Red, White, and True, Ed Boston Ministries. It's none of that. This is my personal one. And I don't put this stuff on my personal very often. But I'll tell you a little bit of a backstory. The reason I made this post is that I saw a post of somebody that I'm friends with that posted about the government shutdown and how can Republicans starve babies and stuff like that. And so I just thought, I've got to post something. So I made this post. Now, I do have some liberal friends, and one of them said, Trump has instructed Republicans not to work with Democrats on this. The left just wants to make sure that healthcare premiums do not go up. While Mike Johnson keeps sending Congress on vacation, if the Democrats are like, we only have one demand, and that's not letting healthcare premiums to increase. Well, this person, I wanted to reply, and I kept my replies fair. I mean, I kept my replies out of it. Not fair. I kept them out of it. I wanted to say, it's really, really, really small about the premiums for healthcare. Let me editorialize here for just a second. The subsidy for, get this, Obamacare, the disaster that is known as Obamacare, and you and I both know a person or two that is on Obamacare, and we're thankful that those are on it. So I'm not saying that it's total trash, but it has been a disaster. And you know how it's been a disaster? Because the Biden administration had to put subsidies on.
Yeah.
So Obama put out this horrible Obamacare. Biden had to add subsidies to it. Subsidies, if for those that may not know what I'm talking about, the government subsidizes people that are on Obamacare, or they'd never be able to afford it.
Absolutely.
So Biden added the subsidies. The subsidies are still going right now until the end of the year, I believe. And so that's what they're fighting over, in addition to adding $1.4 trillion that got taken out in the big, beautiful bill. So all of that is Democrat.
Absolutely.
Okay, let me continue. This could all be over if they do what government is supposed to and work with the other side. Stop pushing. This is directed at me. Stop pushing lies. Everyone who has a brain knows this is a Republican shutdown. Holy cow.
Wow.
And then there was this. All Democrats want is for Americans to not have to pay double for health care than they already do. See, it's not even America. It's people on Obamacare. That's who the subsidies are for. You know, I wish people would educate themselves. They want to go and spew this kind of venom and have no clue what they're talking about. The guy that's talking about this, unless he's on Obamacare, this isn't going to help him one iota. Not one single bit.
No.
The real people that hate America are Republicans. One guy said, I can't judge you. You have the right to say what you want. And then, as in a separate post, he changed his mind and said, I really want you to apologize to everyone.
He wants you to apologize? Really?
Yeah, that was my reply is I called him by name. Why do I need to apologize? Not being argumentative. I want to know why he wants me to apologize. Was he offended that I said Democrats hate Americans? And actually, that wasn't my meme; it was somebody else's. But that's okay. I'll take it. I posted it. Another person said, "I'll be praying for you." So,
well,
yeah.
Nice.
Well, I almost put, and I hit it because of who the person was, and yeah. So yeah, I hid that one because people might have taken it as that she was really praying for me. It was sarcasm in that
There's
she would pray for
sarcasm,
me
yeah.
in my yeah. in
Yeah.
my demeanor of how I portray things.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So, yeah. Well, do you have anything more?
Nope, that's all I had. I am ready to turn over the reins to you, and I'm really curious about Candace Owens here.
Well, we'll put the clicker back up in just a bit. 23 days, 19 hours, 38 minutes, and 17 seconds. And let me take.
I will leave it here, and I'll let you take the reins.
All right. Well, Candace Owens, let me start out with, I was a huge Candace Owens fan way back in the day. Well, I mean, it hadn't been that long. She was very conservative. She was one of the ones who, when she said something, it lined up with the way I think almost every single time she spoke. Then it was like a light switch flipped and she totally changed. And one of the very first things that happened, and let me open this happened.
Candace Owens.
Guys, I'm going to be honest with you because everybody's noticing it. Every single political commentator in America, every single one of them knows this, that if you do not step out and say things that are radically pro-Israel, or if you are too quiet on certain narratives and they want you to be radically pro-Israel, you can lose everything. That's truth. That is a fact. I'm not feeling like I need to hide from that anymore or be afraid to say it, rather, is a better way to say it, because I've endured this for years. I'm just at the end of my rope. I have given so much rope here and I am just done with it.
Okay, so all of a sudden she decides that, like liberals say orange man bad, now she says Israel bad. Uh, it's interesting that she says what she did about how political pundits are treated about that topic, as if she totally doesn't know there was all of these political pundits, politicians, college faculty, college protests that were pro Hamas, free Palestine. Where did that come from? What she just said totally ignores that fact. I don't know if she's been uh, silenced. She obviously isn't silenced. She still has plenty of opinion. But let's look at some of the controversies that she has been in just in the last year. Here is one.
So what does a PR person do when they feel burned? They drop a bomb in the press. And it looks like she indeed dropped a bomb, an explosion in the press about Brigitte Macron in the magazine called Closer, okay? Brigitte had somehow been spotted at the entrance to the American hospital in Paris, reportedly for undergoing cosmetic surgery under general anesthesia. And the First Lady was furious about this publication, okay? She publicly condemned Closer magazine for her favorite invasion of privacy. Okay, understandable if you're at the hospital getting some work done. Her reaction, though, seemed like an overreaction, especially to journalist Xavier Poussard. It just struck him as odd because a year earlier, another magazine called The Express had similarly outed her for going under the knife with a doctor named Dr. Sydney Ohana, and yet she didn't care. She didn't face that doctor and the Express did not face any public condemnation. Brigitte was not mad at them. So Xavier's going, what particularly about this publication and Closer made her freak out? You see, while Closer had not named the surgeon, they didn't at all name the surgeon who worked on Brigitte, they did this sort of petty thing where they left a massive, undeniable clue as to who the surgeon was. In the magazine, they described the surgeon as a, quote, eminent and media-savvy plastic surgeon who would keenly quote Victor Hugo, his favorite expression, woman's flesh, ideal clay. Well, there was only one surgeon who had been featured in the press with that quotation just a year earlier in Paris Match, and his name was Dr. Patrick Buey. He's a plastic surgeon at the American hospital in Paris. Now, why was this a bombshell in Closer, or rather a threat that was made, a shot that was fired, if you will, to Brigitte Macron? Because in France, Patrick Buey is known most eminently for one thing: feminization surgery. He is the king of transgendered feminization surgery to soften.
Say. I'm going to sing the national anthem, I guess. She was making reference to the fact that while there are many, many, many rumors about the First Lady of France, Brigitte Macron, she released an 8-part podcast called Becoming Brigitte, claiming that the First Lady was born a man. Now, I don't have a clue. Personally, I really don't even care about the First Lady of France. I hope that person is a Christian and that they go to heaven. Past that, I really don't have any opinions on her. But I would think if you decided to do an 8-part podcast, that you would have to have evidence that was totally backed up with fact. The Macrons filed a defamation lawsuit in Delaware accusing her of spreading falsehoods for a profit. So she's in the news for that. Visa denied in Australia. In 2025, She lost a legal fight to enter Australia, with officials citing her incitement of discord. And it was over her remarks targeting Jews and Muslims and LGBTQ plus groups. When I bring Ronnie back on, I'm just going to ask some questions and see about him answering some of this stuff with me. Anti-Semitism and Israel stance. We just heard about Israel. She was named the anti-Semite of the year by Watchdogs after inflammatory posts about Jews in Israel. She alleged that Israel occupies America and misrepresented Jewish texts. Uh, of course, she still holds some um, thoughts and theories of what we on the left would, or on the right would say. Uh, she called feminism toxic and insists that there are only two genders. That seems pretty straight to me. She also goes with the COVID and government mandates. That's kind of conservative. And then we get to Charlie Kirk.
Candace Owens just came out and said the unthinkable. Some people are even saying it's her most outlandish claim so far. Check out what she said.
Just really needed to just take a breather and really process everything that happened with Charlie and what it kind of means in terms of where we are. And I think it is a circumstance where we just know. We just know that he was truly betrayed in one of the most egregious ways that I think I've ever seen. It has made me lose faith in politics. It has made me fully lose faith in Trump. And my heart aches for the fact that he gave so much of his life to Trump and to politics. And they just were like, nope, that is it. It serves us or it doesn't serve us, and we want to move on. And so here's a holiday. Bro, if they try to give me a holiday, what is with them giving people a holiday after they kill them? Why is that a thing? You know what I mean? Like, oh, Martin Luther King, what about this holiday? What about this boulevard? Anyways, let me knock off. Like, they're going to give Charlie Kirk a boulevard. They already did. They did in Israel. They gave him freaking boulevard. It's like, as soon as they give you a boulevard and a holiday, they definitely killed you. Okay, there's no question. They killed you. There's no way. That's like their signature thing. It's like that's what they do. It's the Fed signature. It's how they sign off after they murder you. They're like holiday and a boulevard. And it's never on a nice side of town either. It's like Charlie Kirk Boulevard is not going to be a nice side of town. Anyways, I will be back on this.
So she's saying it as if there's no doubt that the feds unalived Charlie, that Trump and his administration unalived Charlie. There's no going around that now. You can't come out now and say you didn't say this, you didn't say it. You definitely said it right there. Here's what we do know.
All right, so she kind of just showed where she stands and how much that she has changed. She claimed they killed him. They being, she makes a reference, infers that it was the government who did that. And if it was the government, then you have to look to the very top, and that would be Donald Trump. Why would Donald Trump want to off Charlie Kirk? She says that the assassination wasn't random. As soon as they give you a holiday, they definitely killed you. She implies the government or the elitists have a conspiracy. She alleges, and this is more than just what the video said about Charlie, that wealthy donors, including Bill Ackman, pressured Charlie to tone down his pro-Israel stance. Ackman flatly denied this and said it was a fabrication. She has a ballistics theory that the fatal shot couldn't have been a rifle bullet. It would have gone through 7 necks. Claimed a small caliber gun fired the shot from close range. Of course, she says there's a media cover up about it. Argued that major outlets are hiding facts and attacking alternative voices. And some conservatives defend her right to question things. Others are saying that she was exploiting tragedy. Now, let's look at a couple of biblical scripture references. Ephesians 4:29 says, "Let no corrupt word proceed out of your mouth, but what is good for necessary edification, that it may impart grace to the hearers." Now, some people might accuse Ronnie and I of not giving much grace to the left, to liberals, and we can give them grace. Actually, God is the one that gives the ultimate grace, but you have to do something with the grace that you're given. And so, let no corrupt word proceed out of your mouth. I can't imagine that she knows 100% sure that Macron's wife was born a man. I mean, there's things out there, but we live in a day and age of AI where you can make anything look real. So I'm not convinced. It would almost take an admission for me to be convinced that that is true. You have to look at things like accusing the media of covering up facts about an assassination. Now, I know that there's been conspiracy theories about the John F. Kennedy assassination for all of these years, and conspiracy here about whether it was a long rifle or a handgun, a small caliber gun fired at close range. I don't know. I mean, there's thousands and thousands of experts in that field. I'm sure that we would be way more qualified to say that than Candace Owens. And if it was that cut and dry, the media couldn't shut all of those experts up. They just couldn't, especially in a day and age where what Ronnie and I do here on Red, White, and True with Ed and Ronnie, especially in this day and age where we're bringing news to you, and this is how a lot of people get their news. This is how a ton of people get their news, is through live streams, podcasts, and just ordinary everyday Joes that love the country, or even some that don't love the country. 1 Thessalonians 5:21, test all things, hold fast to what is good. We got to discern between the truth. Oh, here you go, Ronnie. The truth and noise. I like that. The truth and noise. And let me bring Ronnie back in here as we continue. Let me put the big picture up. Truth and noise. That's kind of like we're red, white, and true, not red, white, and assume.
Right.
But let me ask you a couple questions, since how it's just you and I.
Okay.
See what you think. How should Christians handle conspiracy claims or hidden truth culture? There's conspiracies about everything. So how do we as Christians have to deal with that?
Honestly, don't know. I like conspiracy theories. Lately, they've been turning into conspiracy fact. So I like to just kind of hear all, trust nothing until I see it with my own eyes, kind of thing.
Well, that's a good Christian response to that. Listen. If it's your prerogative to listen. I mean, some people, I don't want to listen to none of their conspiracy theories, but you listen. We've listened to some of the things that Candace Owens has said on here tonight. We listened. I'm not going to believe basically any of it until we get what you just said. What did you just say? How did you say that?
Hear all, trust nothing.
There you go. Hear all, trust nothing. And so that's, like I said earlier, with AI, Ronnie, you could make a picture of a woman look like she had male parts.
Oh yeah, easy.
It wouldn't take 10 minutes to do that.
I actually just saw a video a little while ago of a kitten come up on this woman's porch. It was a Ring doorbell camera, and it was meowing, and she came and answered the door, and the kitten exploded, and the woman died. And I'm like, oh my God, that poor woman. It was all AI. It didn't happen. So yeah, it was so realistic. So yeah, AI. I mean that's one thing you and I have discussed before is how do we discern what kind of videos we play on here, because we can't trust if it's AI or not.
And this is a total separate subject, AI, but there is so much good that can be done with AI.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's hard for me to say AI is bad, but there are parts of AI that are worse than bad. So let me ask you another question. In a divided America, what does faithful engagement look like? How do we engage the left and do it in a Christ-like manner?
Well, exactly like Charlie Kirk did. I mean, that's exactly the way to do it. Engagement. There was no name calling. There was no, you're wrong, I'm right kind of thing. And, Charlie Kirk had the ability to drop Bible verses off the top of his head better than anybody I've ever seen. So I would think that would probably be about the best way.
Amazing answer. Outstanding. And see, I didn't even, as I was thinking of the answers, that didn't come to mind but it's a perfect reference. I seen a video earlier today of an atheist that was talking. The atheist denounced the assassinations and said that there is no way he would make fun of anything like that, and then proceeded to give all the negatives that he could think of about Charlie Kirk. The America is divided. There is no doubt that it's as divided as it's been. We can only speak for our lifetime and maybe read history books about the past, but we have to be very careful as Christians in two different manners. We have to be careful to share the truth and let truth speak for itself. And when I say that, I don't mean that we don't speak the truth, but I mean, the Bible says, if you know the truth will set you free. Most people leave off the first part of that.
Yeah.
Most people say the truth will set you free, but you have to know the truth. And when you know the truth in a biblical sense, then you can share that, and then it will set people free. So we have to do that, but we also have to make sure that we're not just sitting there like bumps on the log, like the silent majority did for decades. We lost prayer in schools. We lost 10 commandments on courthouse lawns. We lost the abortion topic. We lost gay marriage topic. We lost and lost and lost because we kept sitting back saying, man, that's terrible. Yeah, it was terrible, and we should have spoke up. Yeah. I've said so many times it was on our watch, and too many people, well, we just don't want to ruffle any feathers.
I want to rock the boat.
Well, here's the deal. We have to ruffle. Charlie Kirk ruffled feathers, but he did it. I can understand how the left didn't like some of the things he said because he just called them out.
Yeah.
Kind of like Jesus, when he was at the temple, called out the money changers and all of those, and he threw tables over. I mean, he called them out. If Jesus can call out the bad, that's what Charlie Kirk was doing. And I'm not comparing Charlie Kirk to Jesus. Nobody has called me on that, but I really, really, really have a feeling that at some point I'm going to hear you seem to just worship Charlie Kirk, and that is not the case.
No.
But we have to be able to say the truth. And if we say the truth and we do it in a loving manner, then if the other side gets upset, they get their feelings hurt, whatever, as long as it's the truth, then that's on them.
Absolutely.
If you say it in love, you say it in the proper manner, there's a difference between saying that God made man and woman than saying you friggin' transgenders are ruining the world. Right? I mean, there's a difference there. Both of them can be the truth, but I'm not sure you're going to get many people to agree with the second way of saying that. How about you take a minute or two and comment on some of the Candace Owens things that I shared with everybody?
So a lot of the things I've been seeing about Candace Owens, it started out, she knew more than what has been let on. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I believe wholeheartedly that the story that they sold. I don't think the story of how Charlie Kirk was assassinated actually happened the way it was told. But it's all conspiracy theories. So again, I hear all and trust nothing. And that goes for the official government way of how this all went down. Now, it leads back into the JFK thing and all that. And, how that story didn't seem to add up and people didn't believe that. And there's conspiracy theories about that as well. So Candace Owens, she just keeps going on and on and on. She's now talking that Israel did it. She's also saying that Charlie and Erica had just filed for dissolution of marriage either a couple days or a couple weeks before. I don't know. I don't know what to believe. I like you, enjoyed Candace Owens' stuff. She was powerful. She was she did a lot of good work, but for some reason, since Charlie Kirk's assassination, she's just gone off the rails, and a lot of people are seeing through her stuff. I know about the Macron thing, and that was something we had joked about before. How the First Lady of France was actually a male and all that, and again, I don't know. And if it's so, like you said, I hope she goes to heaven. I hope she's a believer. She, whatever. That's none of my call. So I don't know. All this stuff with Candace Owens, it's like I'm trying to listen to what she has to say, just in case there might be a crumble of truth or something in it, and she's just going off the rails. I think there's just so much weirdness that she's saying.
Well, let's end this thing with some proof that AI, you can do just about anything in a very short period of time. Let me share this screen.
Man, that's a good looking chick there on the right. The one on the left kind of looks like famous actor. He was in a couple of movies. I can't think of his name. I don't know. The one on the right's pretty good looking though.
Now, what this said, it took me less than 10 seconds with AI. Less than 10 seconds.
Man, I got them good eyes.
And the thing is, he pulled that right off of video because that's our backgrounds as we speak.
Yes.
So it's not that they went back and they found.
You look like Brandon Fraser's that actor's name. You look like Brandon Fraser in drag.
Here, with that, we'll stop sharing.
Oh my God. I had the eye going on. That I like that.
You're so pretty.
I look like that one scary transvestite hooker you found in like an alley somewhere downtown, at 3 a.m.
Yeah, now let me clarify. He didn't say you found. He said that he needed to put the word that in there, that you might find downtown.
There you go. You want to ride, mister?
Your son ain't right. She's over there just shaking her head. Well, we had a good time. I think we covered both those topics extremely in detail.
Yes.
What is it we're at here now, Ronnie?
23 days, 20 hours, 5 minutes, and 6 minutes, 0 seconds. 23 days, 20 hours, 6 minutes.
There you go. And
the clock just keeps on ticking.
It does do that.
I think you're both stupid.
Your mom, did you hear her?
Yes.
Your mom just said, I think you're both stupid. Well, we might qualify, but we're not so stupid that we're not ready to eat some peanut butter cinnamon rolls.
Absolutely. And I'm going to get on Amazon and find myself a blonde wig. So.
Oh, with that, we plan on being back on our regular night Tuesday.
Absolutely.
God bless each and every one of you. Know the truth so the truth can set you free. And until we see you again, go out and do the right thing.
Thank you for joining us for today's live stream. This has been a presentation of Ed Boston Media.